Hey guys, so I'm back at the forge. I'm gonna show you what I'm working on. My first sword. Uh, so I'm still drawing out the sword. I did just forge the tang out not too long ago. So this is just a general purpose shape at the moment because I don't want to put any finalized shapes on it until I'm closer to that last part of the finish. Um, I actually have a drawing of what I'm making that I'm going on. I'm not going to show that right now, but I want to see where I'm going to show you where I am on link. This bar 5160 spring steel, leaf spring steel, started out as a 13-inch bar. It is now 30 inches. Well, a little over 30 inches because this, I got some fittings to put on here. You got to give extra length, but as you can see, a real sword isn't very thick. It's not. It's a very thin piece of metal, and as far as swords go, this is really thick still. I mean, I got about 5.5 more inches to draw out on the sword, and then before I start putting the fuller in it, doing a Viking Age style sword, I had to make some tools. So you see here in my bench vise that I have. This was going to help me straighten the sword back out in different sections if I get a bend in it or something, or tweak or whatever it is. So that, and I have a fullering tool. This is the fullering tool I made. I like the shape of this pipe because of how nice and round and wide it was. Now it's steel pipe, but it's mild steel, so I reinforced it with some of that spring steel I've been making tools and stuff out of. I just cut a piece, I reinforced it here so that when I strike down on it, that it doesn't bend or contort the shape of my tool, and it gives me a nice round fuller all the way, fuller all the way through the sword. So that's my fullering tool. We're gonna go ahead and take here and pop it in the anvil. Now that piece right there, that square piece, I made that. I hammered that out specifically for the. That's one of the tools I made. I also made a cutting tool, hot cutting tool. This is the. I think I've showed this one before. I got this one. I got that one, and I am working on my own drift punch, which I forged out and I'm still working on. Oh, there it is. It's my first drift punch right there. See that? No, I haven't tempered this at all yet. I just did the first initial cleanup and whatnot and given it its rough shape. Once I'm a little bit more happier with the shape, I'll go ahead because I got a couple fat ends towards the then there isn't quite as nice as I want it to be, but it's pretty close. Because I use this one. This one's probably WO tool steel, and when you use this type of punch, you got to keep it really, really cool. This steel, it can become brittle, real easy between heat and unheat. So yeah, it's not very effective for a drift punch, but it's been working ish. Yeah, I gotta redo that one. But this 5160 spring steel makes really good for tool steel, and it takes a hell of a lot more impact. At least from what I've seen, what people have told me on YouTube, it's a really good steel to make tools out of, not just swords and knives and stuff. So there we go. That's my first drift punch. These other links right here, these are basically starter blanks for tongs. I after making my first 3 pairs of tongs, I noticed I really didn't need a tremendous amount of material. I just needed the right amount of material. Last set of tongs I made was out of not a very long piece. I mean, both pieces were no more than like 8 or 10 inches. I'm pretty sure I can get a good set of tongs out of 8 inches of this 5/8 round bar. So that's why I got pre-cut right now for another couple new sets of tongs. Yeah, I made my own bolts. I got some basic, bolts made. See that? That was actually a piece of square bar. You see the fold in there where it didn't weld together. On some parts of it, it welded together. You can see it's smooth all the way around there. Where it actually welded together, but I wasn't trying to forge weld. Sometimes, when you're doing that, some of it will forge weld, but it won't forge weld properly all the way through unless you use some borax. But yeah, that's what I got going on right now. My little vice jig. Yep. So, guys, have any questions or anything? Go ahead and hit me up. I'll try to answer them best as I can. You guys have fun.